waiting for Malik to get on, and then we'll get started. So give us a couple minutes. Thank you. All right. Well, until he signs on, let's get started. Welcome to People Power Hour. If you don't know, my name's Terrell McKinney. I'm running for state legislature in District 11. Hi, everybody that's in right now. If you haven't, make sure you check out our website, peopleforterrellmckinney.com. Follow our Facebook page, Terrell McKinney LD11. Follow us on Instagram, Terrell.m.McKinney. Twitter is T_McKinney 2020. And also, if you haven't, please donate to our campaign. The link should be in the video description. You can just click it and donate. Anything counts. Um, it's been a it's been an interesting week in the legislature. I don't know if you know, but tomorrow there will be a hearing on LB 1222, which is the Municipal Police Oversight Act, introduced by Senator Justin Wayne. The hearing is at 1 p.m. I will be there in attendance. I will testify and give my remarks on the bill. So make sure you tune in. Trying to wait for Malik. I don't know where he's at. Um, I was set to speak at the Blackout Fest this weekend, but it was canceled and rescheduled for August 15th due to weather. So if you were planning to go, just a heads up, they rescheduled the Blackout Fest to August 15th because of weather and COVID. So you can't really have anything indoors. Dang. Still waiting for Malik though. I don't know where he at. Also, when you do go to our website, if you're interested, please sign up to volunteer. It'll take you to a Google form and just put your information and what you're interested in, and somebody from our team will reach out to you about volunteer opportunities. We will start phone banking this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I believe Saturday is at 10 a.m. and Sunday is, I should know this off the top of my head, but I think it's 10 a.m. also. And also, while today in the legislative session, LB 147 was killed today on the floor. We got Malik. 1 second.
Sorry.
Oh, you good, bro? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. So everybody, we got Malik Cotton. How you doing, Malik?
I'm doing good. How you doing? How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. Good to have you on, man.
Yes, sir. What's going
Definitely.
on?
Not much, man. Just busy as usual. For those who don't know, you kind of introduce who you are and what you're up to in the community.
Okay, well, I'm Malik Cotton. I right now currently I cook for the homeless and people who you don't even have to honestly be homeless. You know, you could be going through a rough time in life, and yeah, I just cook for just anybody who needs a meal. So my main focus right now is helping people realize that they're worth something in life. Sorry, I'm about to relocate. But yeah, my main focus in life right now is just, letting people know that, hey, you can do better than, what you've done in the past. And it's time right now. It's very imperative right now that, we get out here and educate and then spread love within our community. So I'm out here on a journey and on a task of, spreading love and awareness that Black lives actually do matter. And I love my Black people. I love all races, all ethnicities. So that's me.
What I've known you for like we family, but
Yeah.
so and just seeing you out here is really like motivating to me. It's like, dang, it's somebody else I know from kind of where we come from that's out here doing stuff. What motivated you to start getting involved?
What motivated me was, um, the stuff that's going on in Minnesota and, just everything that is taking place right now in, around the world as far as, police brutality, discrimination, racism. It all has always, bothered me. But seeing the stuff that happened in Minnesota, of course, it like made me like go like damn, am I sorry but am I doing enough out here, and
Right.
am I doing enough in my community? If I see this and I post on Facebook, am I actually a part of the cause or for it?
Hmm.
So yeah, I just that whole situation with George Floyd and then James Gerlach, that all just like baffled me, and I just knew I had to get out here and get active.
And that's kind of why I started to get involved because I was like, I don't want to be somebody that's just sitting on Facebook writing these long posts and acting outraged. If I'm gonna be
Right.
outraged on Facebook, I might as well get in the streets and try to do something about it. Um,
Right.
and you mentioned that you've been doing some cooking. You a chef,
Definitely.
Chef
Yeah,
Malik?
I mean, I would say I'm a chef, but some people ask for work, try to pull my card and ask for certifications and stuff. But no, I definitely cook. So I'm always open to catering and things like that. I do like sometimes I pop up and cook for the community, but right now it's my sole purpose is cooking for the homeless and the people who are less fortunate to get a good home cooked meal instead of a meal that's processed or something like that. So
Right.
yeah.
How has that response been from those individuals?
The response has been wonderful. I mean, they keep, a lot of people down where I go to. It's a park off of 18th and Charles where I know where I've been going,
Hmm.
and they want me to come more often and come just to come see them. And I ride through sometimes, and I walk through the park and I say hi, how you doing? If you need anything, a
Right.
lot of them, have my number. So if they, I always extend the olive branch on my end, always.
That's good. You
Definitely.
mentioned that you was involved with some of the protests and rallies, and I seen you out here. What
Definitely.
what about the protests and the rallies have you learned about our community?
What I've learned right now is that, and what I love is that, people from different, walks of life and different races, they're out there more often right now. But, in Omaha, if we're speaking about Omaha, I think right now it's like very necessary and imperative that the Black community, and that's from wherever you're from, North Omaha, South Omaha, there's Black people everywhere. I feel like, us as a culture, us as a people, we got to get out there more to the rallies. I mean, I understand that some people feel like, hey, what is that going to change? What is that going to do for us right now?
Hmm.
But you got to think, as far as the future too. Black people are on a rise, from being oppressed and being put down for so many years. So 2020, this is the year where I feel honestly a lot of things have been brought to light. So I mean, honestly, it's the time for Black people to get out here to the rallies and get educated as far as our Black history, as far as the history of
Right.
just Omaha, let alone the United States. So right now, I mean, what I've learned is that Black people, we have to get out here more often and support our people. Because if we can't support each other, then how can we support, the whole Omaha, Nebraska versus, in the whole,
You
you
still there,
can't.
Malik? Okay, you good. But I agree with you. I try to tell people that whatever change that's gonna be made is gonna have to happen by us. We can't wait on some handouts and for somebody to step in and assist us. We gotta take the charge ourselves.
I can't hear you, bro.
You can't hear me? 1 second.
It's like
Okay, 1 second.
that again. I'm about to leave. Can you hear me?
You breaking up? 1 second, y'all. But I was saying that I definitely agree uh what Malik was saying, that the change that has to happen in our community has to be led by us, and we have to do it. I agree. I've seen more people from other communities outside at these rallies protesting for our rights more than our people. I'm not gonna say that they shouldn't, but I also think it would definitely be encouraging to see more of us at those rallies. Once he probably about to sign back in, but keep going. 1 second. I asked the question to the audience: what have y'all seen as far as the protests in the community, and some things that y'all think should be addressed as far as the protesting? All right, he's back.
Sorry.
All right, you good?
Sorry, my phone was doing something. I don't know what's going on, but I'm back.
Okay, cool. I was just telling them that I agree with what you said, that it's on us to step up and start taking the charge. It can't just be outside people. It has to be us because the change has to be led by us.
Right. And it's like, we always say, as being Black, we always say, well, you can't tell, like, we say to different races when they're trying to tell us about our own walk of life. And then we say, like, you can't tell me about Black people and what we went through. Well,
Right.
how can they know when you're not out here educating? How would they know when you're not out here willing to sit down and let them know what's the real truth of life? What do you know about Black history? So it's like, if
Yeah,
you don't even know, okay, get educated so that you'll be able to educate another person.
I
So
agree.
yeah.
And there's some other stuff that's been going on in the community that I want to talk to you about. So recently, our community has been dealing with a lot of deaths, a lot of stuff going on in the community. Even today, I saw a man and a woman was killed. I didn't know him, but I saw it. So how do you feel about those situations, and what do you think we need to do as a community to start addressing those?
Well, what I would say as far as like right now, we need to just honestly love our family first.
Mhm.
You're supposed to give love, spread love regardless. But it does say, which I read today as well, like you're supposed to love certain people a little tighter, because some people are not, they're not equivalent to you. Some people, and it's like we're all the same, but mentally, sometimes we're not all the same. So, like you might have a cousin or a brother who may be high-headed, or a female brother, a sister, or a cousin. It's time to really hold ourselves accountable. It's time to really hold ourselves accountable and start practicing what we preach, because most of the people who are out here doing this reckless, doing this stuff, that this reckless behavior, is people who were raised a little bit, who were raised right, but they want to do the complete opposite. And I can,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it is in Omaha. Much more than likely, you have been in the right corner of life. You have always been taught something. So it's not like we don't know right from wrong. We know what not to do, what to do. It's like a behavior that's repetitive. Like, it's like a follow the leader.
Right. And I was in a discussion the other day, and a huge part of it is not knowing who we are as a people, and the lack of self identity and self
Yep,
hate,
yep.
which
And
is huge.
it's so crazy, because I think a lot of people in our city lack that father being there, and a lot of people have the father, but they choose to go a different route. But I would
Mm-hmm.
say, for the majority, the statistics show, the numbers show, like the average mother here is a single parent, a single mother. A lot of people lack having the father, having the structure to even have guidance in their life. So I would say right now it's like imperative that you love yourself. You got to start loving you a little bit more, because a lot of people walk around here hating. They walk around here in darkness for no reason. So it's for Omaha to get better. We need self love. We need to get away from being envious and being jealous. We don't have to do that here, because this is where a lot of growth can go on. This is
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of money is in our city for people to make legally. Like, it's a lot of potential here if us, as a whole, North Omaha, we got to do better. Like, we just really got to stop following the leader and stop following the norm. Speak outside the box now. Tell your little cousin, hey, you don't have to go out here and hold a gun and do what your friends do. You don't have to do that. It's okay to go home and read. It's okay to go
Right.
home and stay home.
I don't think people understand that it's cool to be different. You ain't.
Yeah.
We all are individuals. We ain't supposed to be like everybody else. And
Right.
another thing is that I think definitely needs to be addressed is mental health and trauma. A lot of individuals from our community are dealing with mental health and have seen and lived through some traumatic situations, and we don't necessarily ever deal with them. We just been always taught to suck it up, be strong,
Right.
the whole thing, boys don't cry, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It builds up inside, and then we see it in the streets.
Yeah, and it's time to be a little bit more vulnerable and
Right.
being okay to just let that anger and those frustrations go. We don't have the here where it's okay in Omaha to be weak and lean on somebody for understanding and to be loved. Like, honestly, I promise you, I feel like here you're like, it's necessary to be tough here. And you don't have to be tough, because it's like, you could have been the doctor that we've been needing this whole time, the lawyer
Right.
that we've been needing this whole time, the officer we've been needing this whole time.
Yep.
But you were
Instead.
told to go out in the streets and do negativity and destruct.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
sitting in the, and then people call
Then you
home from
jail or dead.
jail, and they sound like they went to Harvard. You know what I mean? He'd be like, man,
Right.
why couldn't you use this same mind out here? And that's
Exactly.
why the biggest things for me as far as my campaign is to address economic equity and opportunity here in North Omaha. Also,
Yeah.
criminal justice reform, education, and healthcare access, because I think those four things affect us the most.
Right. And it's just so crazy how you see how a lot of people go to jail and then, like I said, they either are innocent or, didn't even do, didn't do it to the severity of the crime as what they were charged for. They go to prison and then they come home with all these degrees. Like, maybe if the justice system, maybe if the court system here actually takes the time, and I was just telling my friend this the other day, I feel like like if the gang unit is having so many problems with the black community, North Omaha, wherever, whatever community, I feel like there needs to be a class in place where they sit in front of each other. People who, who they feel is out here on in gangs and anything. If you just want to come to the class as a community, there should be that outlet to receive and, give out information to us as a community, being a police officer. So I was just telling my friend that as well, but I feel like it's just so crazy how we get put down here and then it makes us put each other down. So then we don't have that generational wealth. We don't
Right.
have the businesses opening. And it's just like, bro, you were sitting on a gold mine. Like sister, you sitting on a gold mine. You could actually be the change, but it's like popularity is key here.
Right. And we don't give
And we have to
ourselves
get away from that.
to even grow. You see a business open, somebody will go to it, and then if they have bad service, straight to Facebook, don't go here.
Right.
But then they go out to McDonald's or somewhere else and get horrible service. They mess up their order, but they still pulling up the McDonald's. We give McDonald's more chances than we give our people.
Exactly. And that is a thing where I had to learn myself. Like, sometimes you don't know what people are going through.
Hmm.
So you don't know whether you should give a bad review sometimes. Sometimes you have to let things roll off. And that comes a point of growth. Like, once you start doing things positive in life, you're going to see that you don't have to get on Facebook and bash the next person. You're going to
Right.
see that you can actually sit down with a business owner or sit down with a person who is in the part of who's in management. And if they're running this black owned business or a business around Omaha, you should be able to give the same respect as you will want them to give yourself. So as far as the black community growing the wealth, we have to necessarily just sometimes turn the other cheek and be respectful
Hmm.
and have the same loyalty to the black owned businesses as we have to Westro's Mall.
Right. Because it's a lot of black owned businesses here in Omaha that if we put as much effort as we did into the malls and other places like that, they'd be eating. But we don't.
Right.
We go one or two times. I mean, everybody guilty of not necessarily supporting how we should, but I think that's where the change happens, where we start really investing in ourselves, going
Yeah.
spending the extra $2 just to intentionally go to a black business. And they always complain about the prices, but you can't compare a black business to a Walmart. Walmart
And,
getting
and and I think necessarily as us, as I said, as us as a people, we
mhm,
know that we could take it personal with the black community because more than likely here it's your cousin, somebody down the line's cousin, or somebody's down the line, your friend, and it's their aunt's business or it's their uncle's business. So you're able to take it personal. But when you go to the mall, the price is set. See,
right,
we have to stop looking for a handout. And then once we get over the hump of keeping the same energy as we do at the mall, once we get to that point in life, we'll be perfectly fine. We'll be perfectly fine because then we'll drive from we'll start down here in the North Omaha community, wherever the black businesses are located, because some black businesses are west, some are in Miller. You just
yep,
never know, just depending on what you're looking for, what type of service that you're looking for. We need to have that same respect, like I said, for them as well. And I'm holding myself accountable too.
definitely.
Yeah.
As far as criminal justice reform, um, what do you think needs to be addressed? Because one thing I always say that I don't understand how our community is over police. They invest all this money into police in North Omaha, but they complain about crime. It don't add up.
And
It,
and,
it
and
makes
that's
no
the
sense.
thing. I don't think they realize that. I don't think they realize that more so talking to the black community, giving time with the black community. If you really get to know the North Omaha, you wouldn't feel like you need all these police officers, and then you putting all this money into the police officers and
Mhm.
not even giving any of that money to the black community or to I don't know which community it's going to, because us as a black community, we're not seeing it.
I know
So
the mayor talk about like, oh, we got community programs and stuff like this. And I'd be like, so if you got community programs and y'all investing all this money in community programs, why are all these teenagers in the street shooting at each other?
exactly, but where are the programs at? Are these the
That
programs they're talking about that's for juvenile probation?
right. That's a
I
good
don't know
question.
what programs are we talking about. Are we talking about the programs that they're ordered from court? Because I haven't seen any.
Where's the preventative? Like, where's the community centers at in North Omaha? Tell me where
Right.
you know where one community center at that you could go to free.
And,
That's
and
not
and that's what I was just talking to my uncle about the other day. See, I used to go after school. I used to. Well, my uncle, he worked there, but I used to go to the Joe Edmondson Center,
I
and
did too.
so that was where we went. Like a lot of people who know me and came up in my generation, they'll be able to tell you like that was our after school hangout, and we
Right.
got educated as well. Like you could go to wrestling practice in the next room, or you could be in the computer room. We had things, they had things going on for us, but that was years ago. And I can guarantee you, if they funded that place, if the police department used some of the millions of dollars that they get for no reason, and they still can kill us, and the innocent young teenagers that they're talking about that they have all these programs for, if they started there, I can guarantee you it'll be a major turnaround. And then they put people in place, people who are not just older, people who don't just have degrees. Put
Right.
people in place who actually want to help the young community. And even, people coming up in age, 18, people graduating from high school. They need somewhere to go. They need a getaway. Seniors, juniors, they all need that outlet. I can guarantee you.
And
If
I
we
agree.
use
I
some of
think
those millions,
right.
we'll
The
be able to
biggest thing is
change it.
opportunity. If you don't got opportunity, what else do you have?
Right,
Like, if you don't got opportunity and you don't see you don't see no hope in the future, what are you gonna do?
right. And
Um,
that it's crazy.
it is. So school is supposed to be opening up soon. I really don't trust it. I think it's gonna backfire because I believe there's no way they're gonna be able to stop the coronavirus inside of schools.
Right. But
Um,
I feel like it's all these football fields out here. Why is school, if they can have school where they take the kids to school for a few hours, they need to be out here in the open. You can set up desks and things like that, tents. Put tents out here in the open so they don't have to be enclosed where they're
mhm,
catching, the coronavirus.
right. But also a huge part of it is though they complain about these kids being bad and out of control. I just can't
Right.
imagine the same bad kids, out of control kids sitting in the classroom with this mask on for 7 hours. I just don't see it happening.
Right. Yeah. It
And then I just think a lot of them gonna get suspended and put out of school, and that's gonna create a whole nother problem.
Right. And then that's the thing. I feel like it's not a thought out plan, because
No,
you would never open up a school. I mean, if they canceled a lot of major events around the world, honestly, and some of those events were canceled and they've been losing millions and billions of dollars, I would think the school industry would realize that that is not safe if you can cancel a football game.
I don't
If you can
understand
cancel.
how I don't understand how when we had low numbers of cases, we shut everything down, but everything is spiking and they trying to force everybody back into side of jobs and into school. It just don't make sense. I think they putting money over lives right now, and it's gonna be
Right.
saying that they're gonna be saying I'm sorry when somebody kid end up with the coronavirus and end up dying.
And it's deadly.
Right.
It's crazy
They
that
think
they are
because it's
just
like a 2%. I forgot what the rate is, but they think because the rate is 2% or 3%, that's cool. Like, oh, it's cool. Only 90 some percent of people survive, but it's like one death is enough.
and the thing about it is that well, if they say that the sun and the heat kills it off, then when school is in and it's no more heat outside, which in the season of fall and then we go to winter, don't you think it's going to spike then as well? So why would you set these kids up to going to school for a month?
Right.
No, you need to come up with the alternative,
I
and
think
that
they
is
should,
schooling. I mean, you might have to just go schooling via phone or computer.
because I'm in law school and I've been taking some summer classes and we just been doing Zoom all summer. I
Yeah.
mean, they might not want to do it, but I think we gotta bite the bullet before we end up in a worse situation than we are now. Because I just think it's gonna end up happening. We got a
Right.
question. It was somebody asked, how can we help to mobilize North Omaha politically as a community?
You want to answer?
You can go and I go.
Well, politically speaking, I feel like North Omaha, a lot of us need to get into politics if we want things to actually change, as far as like people having problem with Medicaid and child care and the child support office. If you want things to actually change, then it's time to get educated and get into the departments in the fields and the areas that you want to change then. So if we're going to mobilize North Omaha, then the people in North Omaha have to be willing to change. We'll start there. Once we're able to come together, put our emotions, put everything to the side, put our prides to the side, and actually just say, hey, what we're going through, we're losing too many kids, we're losing too many adults, we're losing old people now to people getting shot at age 30, 35, 38. I mean, even though this is systematic or a cycle to some people, to me it's not okay. So I feel like once we all just say, let's change together and
Right.
get in the streets, get active in our community. And I don't mean when I say get active as far as getting out here and destructing and killing people. No, what I mean get active is actually getting out here and pushing the agenda and pushing the assignment of change and love in North Omaha.
And I think everybody got a role. Everybody don't got to be the person in the street with the mic. Everybody
Right.
got a role in this. Um, and I just think I always try to tell people like you don't want to register to vote, but then if you catch a case and you're not encouraging other people to register to vote, you're gonna have a jury of all white people and you're gonna be complaining they just railroaded me.
Right. Yep. And
But
that's
people
a
don't
lot
like
of
to think like
and
that.
that's another thing. And Precious McKesson said that as far as voting, like when the primaries came, there was not a lot of black votes. There was not a lot of votes from the North Omaha community. And we all sit on Facebook and then we talk about Trump and we talk about his opponents and we talk about, just everything politically, but we don't get out here and get in the streets politically, like, so it's just
Right.
it's just crazy, like I feel that people are going to start like now you're being pushed to that point. You have to pick a side, whether you're going to do right in life or be right and actually vote and get out here and change for the community, or you'll get left in the dust and you'll keep experience the destruction, the negativity, and nothing changing.
I just think like you really don't gotta you really can't complain if you ain't willing to step up. Voting is
Right.
like voting is part of the protest. I'm not telling you to get out here and march every day or stand on a corner. Just go do the. You can vote from home. Literally request a vote by mail ballot, sign it and send it back, and that's all you got to do.
Right.
It's
And
it's
she
simple.
made that point too. Y'all both have been making that point all year. And I've been watching that and I've been seeing it. So voting right now is very imperative if you really want to see, the people in office get out of office that don't deserve that moment or that chance to keep messing our community up. If you feel the need to change, get out there and vote those people in office who are good people, who are actually trying to get in the seat of legislation and city hall and just mayor.
Right.
So it's so many people out here that are good people that we need to vote for.
Thank you. Um, when you're going to vote and we're thinking about supporting a political candidate, what do you expect from them? And you
Honesty.
from
Yeah, what I expect is honesty. You have to be loyal to the role that you're in. You have to honestly give your 100% effort. I expect them to be out in the community more, stepping out here on the actual front line for the communities that are affected by gun violence. So and who the community that are put down, the people who don't get the shot at, changing for the better because they're put down and by police officers. So I expect a candidate to actually be out here and filling us if you don't come from this community. And if you
Mhm.
do come from this community, then you need to be out here standing with the people.
And that's why like I was like my campaign slogan is Terrell McKinney for the people. And I was like, I mean, even before I even decided to run, I was active. And I'm always gonna
Right.
continue to stay active because that's where I get my inspiration from. And that's also I also try to tell people like you really I don't think you could fully understand a situation if you refuse to stand with the people that's going through those struggles. If you're afraid
Right.
to roll up your sleeves and hit the dirt and put some sweat and tears into it, then how could you really understand where I'm coming from if you're not willing to even step into my environment?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I feel like right now. We have people who are put in place to change and support and do whatever they do in their roles for the North Omaha community, of course, because I can't speak for South Omaha or any other community other than North Omaha because that's where I'm
Mhm.
from and that's where I reside. So I feel like the people that are who have that leadership role, uphold that role and actually get out here. And you don't have to be, like you said, you don't have to be the one with the mic. But if you have a voice out here that people flock to, it's time that you use that voice in a good way. Because then that'll save the lives of our cousins and our brothers and our sisters who are getting gunned down every day. That'll save the lives and push the kids' agenda of graduating from high school and going to college.
Right. We got a question. It's what is our take on the state trying to build a new prison instead of addressing prison reform and devoting resources to rehabilitation instead of over sentencing people from our community?
We don't need a new prison. We do
I
not
agree.
need a new prison. The prison that we got, we don't even need. We don't even want that one. So you know what? And that is the part of they're over sentencing people. You're putting people in prison and it's overcrowded, overloaded. Well, release some of the people in prison that have been there for so long on charges where they should have been there for no longer than a year or no longer than 5 years, and they're serving 25-year sentences to life
Right.
for something that they were just there at the wrong time, wrong place.
I agree.
Send some of
I
those
don't
home,
think we
send some of those people home, and I bet you it won't be overcrowded.
right. address the sentencing discrepancies and the mandatory minimums. I
Yes.
really don't understand it. Like, why do y'all want to build? Why not invest those resources into making sure the people y'all got in there already can come out and be successful? It makes no sense. You just
Bro, I promise you, if you look, I promise you, if you look at the rates of people in jail getting degrees, getting diplomas, graduating from high school and getting the high school equivalence diploma, it's so many certifications and trades that they're coming home with. So many men that come home from prison with so many trades. Whereas if they would have that guidance, and I know Metro Community College offers so many trades, but a lot of people don't know that until they go to prison,
mm-hmm.
until they go, until they get in trouble. We don't know about all these resources that we have out here for, Omaha as a whole community. So I feel like it's the agenda is not being pushed that, hey, you can do great and not get in trouble. You can do great and not go to prison and realize that. So
Right.
we have to push the positive agenda.
And it's no reason for somebody to sit in prison even for a year or 5 to 10 years and not be a master or something. You know,
Right.
you should get out and have a job. You shouldn't have to get out and say they gave me this $100 check. I still got to figure out where I
Exactly.
got to live. I got
And
to
why
hope to get
give me this degree?
it. Right.
Why give me this degree if you were not going to set me up for a job like the
For real.
trades do on the outside of jail? If they're setting you up for a job after you complete a trade program outside of prison, outside of the county jail, why can't that be the same energy reciprocated in prison? So that'll keep them out of trouble. See, some people, they go to prison, get the trade, but they don't know which job to apply for. So they'll go back to selling drugs or doing things, to get money. End up back in jail. It's a reoccurring issue that's not being addressed.
Yep, and I bet you've seen this. But it's so many people that get out on parole and probation, and then they max them out on parole and probation and give them 5 to 10 years on parole and probation. And it's some people like I remember getting out and they just tell you like you out like yeah I'm on probation. How long you got? I got 10 years, and you just look at them like why would you accept that? Like who? Like I just don't understand it. 10 years? Like that's just setting you up to go back.
I'm fighting every battle that comes my way in life. I'm fighting everything. I'm not gonna settle.
Right, and it's like the state has to do something about that. I don't think nobody should have to sit on parole. If you're gonna send somebody out to society, but then say, "Hey, we're gonna stand on your neck for 10 years," you could have just left me in jail. Like, because it's unrealistic. I don't. You could get a traffic ticket and go back to jail.
And then it's like, the probation office and the parole office, they treat you like, sometimes that you're their child. And
Right.
that's why a lot of people violate and they don't, succeed in the probation program or the parole program. That is why, because we're already oppressed enough. We're oppressed enough. And then you get to the programs who are supposed to help you, on the outside life of jail. You don't get that same love that you're looking for. And it's like it's a relationship put in place because if I have to deal with you for a year, whether it was a year or 10 years, I still have to, have communications and times with you. So you should be pushing me to be better.
Right.
If you feel like you're better than me, then why can't I be as you? Why can't I get to the level of actually being a good person in society?
Right. And then people always make the comment that people that go to prison is ex felons. I'm like, if somebody is an ex felon, don't treat them like a felon. Like
Right.
that doesn't exist. If I'm an ex felon, then I should be able to vote when I get out. I shouldn't have to mark that I went to jail for a nonviolent offense on this job application. You know what
And
I
there
mean?
is a lot of men who go to prison. There's a lot of women who go to prison and come home and are business owners. They're homeowners. They're people who go back to college and actually learn and get out here and actually be a better person. Everybody that goes to prison does not go back.
Right.
Every person who goes through something in life doesn't actually go back and do the same thing. There's a lot of people, majority change. They
True.
just change silently. You don't see it until they go to jail and boom, you blow that. We got to promoting just the fact of the hardship that we went through or that we go through. We gotta promote the people who actually change and give recognition to the people who are actually out here who are not second time offenders.
Right. We gotta glorify growth and maturity
Yeah.
and prosperity, not all the BS. And that's what
And
we
that's
don't do
what I
enough
think
of.
us as people, sorry to cut you off, but I think that's us as people, we have that problem with the oppression that we're not for the resurrection and prevailing. We don't speak enough of that life over ourselves. So it's hard for us as a community. And that's the whole moral is that we're put down enough. And so we need the police to actually stop taking all the money from the government or from our city and actually work for the money that you're giving. If this is your job, okay, well, get out here and actually protect the people and don't just condemn us and feel like everybody's the same. I'm
Right.
not the person who murdered somebody 2 months ago. I'm not that man. I'm my own man. I'm Malik. You feel me? So I don't, I don't want to be treated like that person who's sitting in jail. I want to be treated equal. Give me the chance.
Okay. Reading some comments. What are before we got like 9 minutes left. What are some stuff that you want to lead the people with as far as what you're doing, what type of message you're pushing, and how can they help you?
Well, right now, like I said at the beginning, my main focus right now is getting out here, giving back to my community, feeding the homeless, so I would appreciate. I don't, it doesn't always have to be money. You can donate food, products, fruits, vegetables. I would ask that people in the community of Omaha to just donate to the cause and actually see that this project, that this organization that I'm building, that I'm manifesting, is
What's it
actually
called?
going to be. I'm sorry.
What's it called?
It's called the Homeless Kitchen right now by Mills
Okay.
by Malik. Yep.
Okay. Cool. How can they
Yep.
donate?
So yeah, and I honestly, it's called the Homeless Kitchen because it's not a home. So I want to get out in the community, actually cook in the community. I don't want to be somewhere right now where I'm cooking in a home and I have to put you out. No, I want to come to you and cook. So,
Right.
yep.
So how can they donate to you though? Can you hear me? How can they donate to you?
Oh, well, you can donate through. I have a PayPal. Damn. Oh, sorry. I don't. I can post the PayPal. I'll post it on my page, but at Malik Cotton on
Okay.
Facebook. But you can donate to Cash App, and that's a month $sign, and then it's Mills by Malik. So you can donate there, and like I said, I'll post my PayPal if you don't have that. But yeah, you can donate anytime. It's going to a good cause. It's not going to me. Like I say, I tell people this all the time. It's not going to me. It's going to the next mouth in Omaha who's not actually receiving anything. So a meal can actually change a heart. A meal can speak to the soul. A meal can be somebody's, negative turnaround to something positive. So
Right.
I'm just trying to do my part. And like I tell people all the time, I'm just here on assignment. I'm not here for me.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Like, I'm only doing my part. They try to like place you on some pedestal. I'm like, no, I'm just Terrell. I was trying to do whatever I can to make
Yeah.
sure we don't fail another generation of our kids.
Right. And like I said, when I do the homeless cookout, I see a lot of young people. I see a lot of people that I went to school with. And it's
Mhm.
really like disheartening and it's sad sometimes, to see people out there who don't have that person to tell them, hey, you got another shot at life, just do better. That
Right.
person that'll help them get to a job interview, or just that person in their corner, a good positive person. So right now, that's my main focus, is to get out here in the community and encourage people that yesterday don't matter. Today is the better day. Today is the day to change.
Mhm. Right. Tomorrow I'm going down to Lincoln to speak on the Municipal Police Oversight Act that was introduced by Senator Justin Wayne. I believe that hearing is at 1 p.m. I'll
Okay.
probably share the hearing video on my Facebook page or something so people can tune in. You going down there?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. I think we definitely need police oversight. We need a lot of things, but I think one of those things definitely, which has been shown throughout this whole summer, is that the police need to be held accountable for what they're doing.
And
And
then that is definitely an issue here in North Omaha, is that the police get away with too much. And but the best part about 2020 is that things are being brought to light. People
right,
are actually getting uncomfortable, because we've been so comfortable of the trial and tribulation part of life and the negative part, that we're able to overcome that. And now we're speaking out as far as being mistreated by the police. A lot of videos are surfacing. So I mean, now it's imperative. It's like I said, get with the program or you will be exposed.
definitely, definitely.
Definitely.
Um, I thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all your comments. I'm gonna go back through and look at them. Um, Next week we'll be back next Thursday. We haven't announced our guest yet, but that'll be happening soon. If you want, we'll be phone banking this Saturday and Sunday. Go to our Facebook page and look at the events. And if you want, you could help us phone bank and call voters. Malik, man, I really appreciate it. This was a great conversation.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, bro.
See you later. Thank
All
y'all.
right,
See
see
y'all. Have a great night.
y'all later.